Good evening, good afternoon, Dafydd.
Bore da.
Bore da.
I don't think I've ever had an experience like this ever in my life. And
Well,
having done live television before, that is saying something. So
well, I'm
it's
just
doing
going
really well so far. Well done to the Argo Navis conference organisers, Menter a transnational project that has received funding from the Welsh Government Rural Communities Rural Development Programme 2014 to 2020, even though we're in 2021. It's great to have everybody joining us, and it's wonderful to see the array of speakers which we've had, Alan, that have contributed so much. You really don't know. It's like being like Luke Skywalker in the Millennium Falcon. Things are coming from all directions. The presentations have been great. The individuals, fantastic. And of course, I'm a great lover of accents. I've been really enjoyed listening to every accent we've had so far, showing how internationally supportive everybody is of all things dark skies. I'm a great. I'm hearing my voice back here, Alan.
Can you hear it now?
Hope not.
It's a sign of madness, that is, Dafydd.
Hearing it once is enough.
Right, well, I'm too have been enjoying the session this afternoon, and I'd just like to introduce Dafydd himself now, because he is our next speaker. Now, as you can see from Dav's background there, he's part of the, he's just turned it off on me, but Dafydd is part of the Cambria Mountains initiative, and to be honest with you, he is one of the great characters in the Cambrian Mountains. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. He's like the Scarlet Pimpernel, or Tumshum Catty, as I should say. But Dafydd is a great advocate for dark skies, and particularly the Cambrian Mountains area. And he's going to give us a lovely presentation now, all about what he gets on with up in the mountains there. So I'm going to hand over to Dafydd now. And if you do have any questions for Dafydd as we go along, then please stick them in the Q&A, and I'll try and answer them. I'll try and ask them at the end of the session for you. So over to you then, Dafydd.
And can we all see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
You can indeed, and you can all hear me as well. Felly, diolch Alan am y gwahoddiad. Diolch I Argo Navis, cynhadledd Argo Navis, am y cyfle I fod yn rhan o ddigwyddiad hynod o ddiddorol, ond hefyd hynod yn ei hunan I ddod â holl bobl at ei gilydd fel betai. Dwi'n Gymro. I'm Welsh. In fact, I'm very Welsh. And as I once said on television, I'm also very Cambria Mountains. And the Cambria Mountains landscape is very close to my heart and has always been since I was a very young child. And often people ask, where are the Cambria Mountains? And I can probably hear some of you asking it now. Where are the Cambria Mountains? Well, the Cambria Mountains are south of North Wales and north of South Wales. It's that little bit in the middle between Snowdonia National Park, Parc Cenedlaethol Eryri, a Bannau Brycheiniog, Parc Cenedlaethol Bannau Brycheiniog, the Brecon Beacons National Park. And whilst we're not an area of outstanding natural beauty, we are very much so an area of astounding natural beauty. And you heard that first today from me. We are astoundingly beautiful in this part of Wales, as there are many astoundingly beautiful mountain ranges across the world, in fact. So I work for the Cambria Mountains Initiative, and it's a pleasure to work for them. It's also an initiative which is funded by the Welsh Government and the Rural Development Plan for Wales, a part of its European programme. Plus, we also have some support from the three local authorities of Ceredigion, Powys and Carmarthenshire. Felly mae Ceredigion, Powys a Sir Gar yn rhan o'r pecyn cefnogaeth ar ein cyfer ni yma yn mynyddoedd Cambrian. Fel mae Alan wedi gweud, my name is Dafydd Wyn Morgan, as Alan just said. I'm also known as Twm Sean Catty on the social media platforms. So Twm Sean Catty being a 16th century highwayman. And I am probably the reincarnation of Twm Sean Catty, even though he died in 1609. Now, my job with the Cambria Mountains Initiative is I get paid loads of money to go out walking, eating, drinking, and staying up late to watch the stars. And therefore, it's a wonderful job. It's not going to last forever. I'd like it to last forever, but we know that with European funding programs and funding programs in general, there is a limit to the amount of money that they can give you. So it's been a pleasure to work with all the partners in the project so far. Now, yeah, where is the Cambria Mountains? Well, there's a little map of Wales up there on the left-hand side of the screen. Wales is covered in that little teal turquoise colour. And in the middle section of Wales, we have the Cambria Mountains. And in 2018, with the support of Dark Sky Wales, we succeeded in establishing the Cambrian Mountains Astro Trail, initially starting with a personal interest in astrophotography, but more so then working with local communities, local businesses to try and create a trail that people can visit, not necessarily in one night. You would definitely need the Millennium Falcon to get from each night. But I have set my friend, who's a cyclist, the challenge of going to each of these places at night. He hasn't yet done it. But the Cambria Mountains Trail links up communities in the Cambria Mountains where there is really top quality darkness. These are dark sky discovery sites, and they are great places to visit by day. And we always say by now that the Cambria Mountains is an incredible place to discover nature by day and the stars by night. So if you come to the Cambria Mountains by day, try and get an experience outdoors at night of the night sky, because we've got really some top quality places here where you can see the stars, the planets, the meteors, the constellations, and my favorite, the Milky Way. And most recently, the NRW Natural Resources Wales published a dark skies and tranquility report stating that 99% of the landscape of the Cambria Mountains is made up of some really, truly dark skies. All you need, of course, are clear skies so you can see what's happening up there. About 10 years ago, my dear old mother-in-law passed away, and she had this incredible camera. She was an avid photographer. She didn't go out at night to take photographs, by the way, but any family event which we had, she would take photographs of, and we're very grateful for all the photographs she took many, many years ago of family events and so on. But that camera was a DSLR camera, and it had capabilities that she didn't understand. And when she passed away, she passed on the camera to me, and I decided, well, let's make the most of this camera. Let's try and put it to use. So I started going out at night into my local community with the camera, and just the camera really, taking photographs at night. So this is the local church in my community in Tregaron in the Cambria Mountains. Then I ventured a little bit further north, where I came across this wooden structure standing on top of a hill, known locally as the Pererin, the Pilgrim, and it was part of a project linked to the Strata Florida Abbey Abati Ystrad Fflir near Pontry Bendigaid. It's sadly fallen down with the wind. It was only meant to be there, as I understand it, for 1 year. But the number of times I sat and spoke to this wooden structure, if you have the Angel of the North up in the Newcastle, Sunderland area, whatever it is up there. We've got we've got some sort of pilgrim of the south here, and there are reports that positive reports that this structure will be lifted up again, possibly made out of metal, but who knows? It's great to be there at night, and iconic by day and iconic by night as well. Not far from where I live, photographs of the loneliest or the remotest chapel in Wales became part of my routine, and I visited here at night. This has got quite a bit of moonlight, thankfully, being thrown on Sor Mynydd Chapel. It's a sanctuary, in all fairness, to visit by day again, and also to visit by night. Quite a few well-known people have visited this place, including former President Jimmy Carter of America. So you'll find me sometimes here, just sitting in the dark and taking the odd photograph, making me, of course, a very happy person to live in one of the darkest places in the world, I would suspect. Being able to go out at night when the weather is good and when the sky is clear. My head is always looking up to see what I can see, and then head out into the night landscape to try and photograph something interesting and something memorable as well. Then, following this personal interest journey, came across Alan Wallace. Many of you will know of him as a landscape astrophotographer, and he's also done quite a few time-lapse videos as well. But we managed to ask Alan to put together his favorite moments in the Cambria Mountains. And strangely enough, this little video I'm going to show you now was organized 10 minutes before one of my hip replacements back in 2018. And by the time the operation to replace my broken hip was complete, Alan had put together this really nice video, and we were very pleased with it. So let's have a look at Alan's video of his special moments in the Cambria Mountains of Wales, including the Elan Valley International Dark Sky Park. So when we received that as an organization, the Camry Mountains Initiative, we were really pleased with what Alan had put together in the time it takes to replace a hip. Alan put that together for us and became really the inspiration for quite a bit of our work over the next few years between 2018 and the present day work which we're doing as well. And we realized when we showed that it could impact on the area of the Cambria Mountains, and most certainly impact the local business community and also the visitor economy. And we brought together a group of businesses, and all of a sudden there was some sort of big bang moment between the businesses, and we all realized that this natural phenomenon of the Cambria Mountains dark skies was something which we appreciated, we could understand, begin to understand more about, as well as make the most of as well. And I think it's the prosperity element and the preservation element which is now key to the success of the Cambria Mountains dark skies over the next few years. And we organize an event, where else but in the International Dark Sky Park in the Elham Valley, and some very happy looking businesses and individuals and prominent local people were part of that first meeting here in the Elham Valley. And from there, we started to go for the general public, and we started to organize evening walks, day into night, dusk into twilight, sunset walks, and for people to start getting used to and getting to understand that there is more to the day than just the day. We know that a day is just shy of 24 hours, and therefore there are more hours in the day to enjoy. And by going out at night, you can enjoy more of your life and appreciate the nature and the landscape around us. So we did start taking people safely out at night. This wonderful photograph here is a group of us descending from the summit of Pumlimon Fawr in the Cambria Mountains after a late evening sunset watching episode, as well as watching a full moon rising in the east over the Cambria Mountains. So all these experiences are part of raising the profile of the Cambria Mountains as a dawn to dusk and dusk to dark skies destination. And even first thing in the morning, you can be standing on the highest peak in the Cambria Mountains, and that new day, those first few moments are really awesome. They are inspiring, and having spent a night out on a Cambria Mountains hill or a mountain, you can then start appreciating the next day. You just need to catch up on a bit of sleep as well. So with the help of Alan Trower from Dark Sky Wales, we started the discussion, and strange enough, the discussion started in a supermarket in Pontypridd, I think. Alan might want to correct me there, but I met up with Alan in Pontypridd in South Wales, and we got a discussion going about the potential of creating dark sky discovery sites. And initially it was going to be 2 or 3. It then ended up being 6 dark sky discovery sites. And Alan, yes, he's inspired me. He has a way of inspiring, and I'm very, very much appreciate Alan's time over the last 4.5 years to raise the profile of dark skies, light pollution, and opportunities from the night sky over the Cambria Mountains. And of course, as some of you will know, Dark Sky Wales organise events across Wales, including in the Brecon Beacons, as well as in the Cambria Mountains. And this was one of the sessions we attended with Alan in the Cambria Mountains, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's a great way to meet people and enjoy the night sky safely. And there's a bit of organisation there as well. So you've got the introduction, you've got then the practical and the hands-on approach to using telescopes, using DSLR cameras and so on. So I'd say, Alan, you've got BSc written after your name. I'm sure that is Bachelor of Science, but you're a big space chap as far as I'm concerned. So thanks a lot for all your mentoring, I think, over the last few years, and long may that continue. So really appreciate the work which we've done with Dark Sky Wales. Now then, it's on to the Cambria Mountains Astro Trail. I take you next. There were already 3 locations in the Cambria Mountains which had dark sky discovery site status. Also in the Cambria Mountains, the inspiring and beating heart of the International Dark Sky Park in the Elham Valley, which was a bonus for us as an area of Wales which isn't a national park, which isn't an area of outstanding natural beauty, even though it's an area of astounding natural beauty. We were very privileged to have the fact that we had the Elham Valley International Dark Sky Park, plus already 3 dark sky discovery sites. So we went about trying to discover which communities could take part in the project going forward. And we went to 6 communities as a starting point, and they embraced the potential that a dark sky discovery site in their community could have on their community and the impact it could have as well. So here is the first. This is Mynydd Llanllwni, near Llanllwni, Sir Gar, Carmarthenshire. This is the southernmost dark sky discovery site. A great community. We worked with the community here and the local authority. And there's also a wind farm nearby. You can see on the horizon there the wind turbines. But this is one of my favorite photographs ever, I think, of the night sky. And it's appeared on postcards. It's appeared in calendars as well. So I'm pretty happy that I was here on this night to take this photograph. Another one then, another of the dark skies discovery site is the Himbrian Reservoir, a Dŵr Camry site. We worked with Dŵr Camry on this one and the local community. This is in Carmarthenshire. It's not far from Ogof Twm Sion Cati. It's not far from Twm Sion Cati's cave, which is in a nearby nature reserve, an RSPB nature reserve in the little community of Llandir Moyn. Then we've got several little hostels in and around the Cambria Mountains, one of which being Dolgoch, which is in the community of Tregaron. And then we've also got the Tin Cornel hostel in the community of Llandewi Brefi. And this photograph was taken on New Year's Eve nearby the hostel, and I think it includes some northern lights activity there. On the night, the Aurora Watch app was buzzing, saying that there was a likelihood of the Aurora Borealis being seen from the Cambria Mountains. And New Year's Eve 2015, a group of us went out, and this is what we saw. A National Trust property then, Llanecheiron, right on the western edge of the Cambria Mountains. This is a great place to visit as well. There's a nice big car park there. And by day, it's the National Trust daytime property and an attraction, and it has this cafe there as well. So by day, this cafe is clearly open. A community project and a community woodland, which is Coed y Bont in Pont Rhyd Fendigaid, Ceredigion. And I really enjoy going to this place at night. It's calm. It can sometimes be cool. It's not far from the pilgrim statue I showed you earlier. But it's also got a picnic table, and I can sit there, have my hot chocolate, whilst the camera's taking the odd photograph here and there. And then it's not too far from where I live as well. So well done to the volunteers at Coed y Bont in Pont Rhyd Fendigaid. You should be proud of the work you've achieved in creating this community woodland and taking responsibility for it, as well as working with us on the dark sky status for this site. And again, this is possibly one of my most favourite photographs. The arch near the Hafod estate on the road between Devil's Bridge and Rhaeadr towards the Cwm Ystwyth area. I took this photograph quite a few years ago, and then when the Cambria Mountains Astro Trail was established, this was the photograph that quite a few of the press and media wanted to use, and it eventually ended up in the National Geographic magazine as one of the top 6 new trails to visit during 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020. And we just hope that more people visit this trail, the Cambria Mountains Astro Trail, and come across many of these sites. Back in the International Dark Sky Park in the Elan Valley, this is the site at Ponterelan. This is the Dark Sky Discovery site in Ponterelan. And it's been great working with Welsh Water as well as the Elan Valley Trust on several projects over the last couple of years to promote dark skies and astrotourism in the Cambria Mountains. And I think this is the final one of the 9. And this is a pub in the north section of the Cambria Mountains. So looking south from here, you would see the full mountain range of the Cambria Mountains, and how apt that in the car park of this building, Earth Star Inn, we established a dark sky discovery site back in 2019. As I understand it, the ownership of the pub has changed hands, but the dark sky discovery site still remains in place in the car park of the Star Inn, Dafydd. Back to Alan Wallace, and Alan Wallace attended a few of our star parties and also knocked in a few nails for us in terms of establishing the dark sky discovery sites and making sure that the little plaques were up in place. And for these special events, we had cakes, well, big cakes actually. This is like something you would have in a royal wedding, I suppose. That cake there was so big it fed quite a few of the people who attended the star party, as well as my family and friends for quite a few days afterwards. So a cake for every occasion, as they say. And then we worked with the Elan Valley Trust people and Welsh Water people to put together this first ever dark sky guide. There's a copy of this available on the cambriamountains.co.uk website. It's very informative. It's got a lot of information, and it's got a full list of all the dark sky discovery sites. And for quite a while, we had 40,000 of these hidden away in our house back in Tregaron, much to my wife's disappointment, but they have now all been released, and they can be found at visitor information centres across the Cambria Mountains, as well as local accommodation providers, but full of information and full of inspiring images as well. Just checking the time there, Alan. Now then, one of Wales's greatest events is the annual National Eisteddfod of Wales, which should have been coming to the Cambria Mountains in 2020. And because of what happened and all the restrictions, it looks like the National Eisteddfod of Wales will be held in 2021 in the town of Tregaron, where I live, in the Cambria Mountains. And we were approached by the Eisteddfod organising committee to try and see if we could create a concert with them, with musicians and authors, to see that how we could inspire or how we influence and create a concert on the theme of dark skies and making the most of the night sky which we have here in the Cambria Mountains. Now they went for the idea of the moon, and that the concert they will have created by now, which will be performed when the Eisteddfod does come to Tregaron in 2022. Cross fingers, it'll arrive with us in 2022. It will be a concert about the moon and the Cambria Mountains landscape under the moon. And the concert itself, well, we spent a few nights outside under the moon at different venues in the Cambria Mountains. This was one of them, above the Tavy pools, Llynnoedd Tavy, just to the north of Tregaron, to the east of Pontrhyfendigaid, and the technical director, the musical director, and so on. They came along, and the author as well. And we did spend a few nights out watching the moon and watching the moon. And the result initially was a little book published by Ololfa called Lloerganiadau. And Lloergan will be the name of the concert. And Lloergan means moon song. So we look forward to seeing this concert. A book has already come out, but it's the anticipation of watching this concert and listening to this concert, which should be the main thing to look forward to in the National Eisteddfod of Wales when it arrives in Tregaron, with a lot of luck and a lot of hope in 2022, in August, the first week of August. And of course, the pandemic and COVID and travel restrictions left us all really frustrated. People weren't allowed to travel. They didn't want to travel. They couldn't travel. And of course, many of us who like taking photographs at night just decided to take some photographs in our back gardens and from our kitchen windows. And that's how it was. It was staying with the regulations, staying within the regulations, and not traveling too many miles from your home. And of course, last year, we were all inspired by Comet Neowise. I was fortunate to be standing in the middle of a rugby pitch I used to play in many years ago. And there I was with a camera, a tripod, and a remote control, and caught this photograph of the of Comet Neowise. In probably a traditional looking Welsh photograph with those rugby posts there. Then travel restrictions were lifted come the 1st or 2nd or 3rd of July. Comet Neowise was still in the night sky and headed north then up to near the star in dark sky discovery site. And there's a peak there called Foel Fadian. And it was great to meet people at the star in that night who were on holidays. Travel was allowed once again by this time. And I just happened to mention in this pub that I was going to take a photograph of Comet Neowise, and they wanted to join me. And they walked safely behind me, safe distance behind me, of course. And this is a shot of one of the family I took on the summit of Foel Fadian, looking over the landscape, really, of Snowdonia to the north. And there's the photograph I took as well of Comet Neowise above the star in Deliver near Stay Little in Powys. Not long after that, I was invited to be part of a television program called Gwylio Sera Nos, Watching the Night Sky. Originally set to be a live program, but because of COVID restrictions and the impact of COVID, it then went as live program on S4C, the national channel for Wales. And it was great to be sharing my experiences of being in the night sky with viewers in the Welsh language, yn yr iaith Gymraeg, and introducing a Welsh speaking family to be part of a recording session out at night as well, trying to find planets, constellations, and discover our own galaxy, the Milky Way. It's been wonderful sharing with you my experiences and our experiences as an organization, the Cambria Mountains initiative, what we've done so far. It's time to start planning your visit, I suppose, to the Cambria Mountains of Wales. Like I said, it's south of North Wales, north of South Wales, and it's clearly a place that is worth a visit to discover the landscape by day and to discover the landscape by night as well. And I'm always somebody who says that you can often see far more at night than you can do by day, because it's just a wondrous place to be and a wondrous place to see as well. And if you can find somewhere to stay in a local accommodation, you will be astounded by the beauty of the night sky above the Cambria Mountains. And we, as an organization, have tried to support local cafes, tea rooms, and restaurants. So supporting the evening economy is important, and that there are benefits to local businesses who can decide to stay open later and then benefit from dark sky events which we hold, which we organize with our partners, and that we can have sometimes, after being out late at night, a breakfast first thing in the morning, or an evening meal after watching the early beginnings of the night sky, the dark times and so on. Maybe take a picnic out with us, but there's always opportunities to enjoy the local produce which we have, and the local welcome, the hospitality which we have here in the Cambria Mountains as well. Most recently, we've worked with local producers, and initially we just did chocolate bars, big chocolate bars. And by now, I'm pleased to say that 10 local producers, food and drink and craft, have come together to try and create produce inspired by the night sky of the Cambria Mountains. So this is a world exclusive, everybody. This is the first time this photograph has been shown publicly. We have a distillery here in the Cambria Mountains, and they've distilled and created a special dark skies organic rum. This photograph was taken last week under the night sky of the Cambria Mountains. So not only do we have this special bottle, and it celebrates, of course, the fact that the Cambria Mountains is one of the darkest places in Wales, and that 99% of the landscape is of the darkest night sky possible. Then we've got a local jam company, a local tea company, coffee, local brownie and cakes company. We've got local butchers getting involved with Star Burgers, lamb and beef, a local chocolatier, and we've got special smoked bacon as well. And again, this dark sky jelly has come to the table, as it were, in the last couple of days. This is a brand new bottle of dark skies jelly, and local produce will be available at various outlets over the next few months in the run up to Christmas. There is actually a dark sky inspired food, drink and craft fair in the Elan Valley on the 23rd of October. It's a Saturday this month. Therefore, if anybody wants to come along to the Elan Valley International Dark Sky Park between 10 and 4 on that Saturday, we'll have these local producers and their produce available. And everybody who sells Cambria Mountains Dark Skies local produce, branded, of course, will become local produce champions, and we'll be quite chuffed and quite pleased with that when that happens. So, and they will get a little plaque ensuring that people know that there is local produce available. A brand new book that came out beginning of last month, The Dark Skies of Britain and Ireland. This book is now available at various outlets, but we do recommend that you go to the Brat Guides website, and as I understand it, if you put in Cambrian 25, you will get 25% discount on the purchase of this book. So if you go to the Brat Guide website, you will be able to find the page with the Dark Skies of Britain and Ireland book. Cambrian 25 will allow you the opportunity to have a 25% discount on this book. And as I know it, I think, Alan, you've got some of your images in the book, as well as the Cambria Mountains Initiative images in there as well. So it's a great guide. It talks a lot about places in the world, places in the UK, places in Wales, and places in the Cambria Mountains to visit and enjoy the dark skies we have here. We've started working with local accommodation.
2 minutes, Dav.
And hello?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
We're running out of time, yes.
No, you're not.
we got quite a few questions.
I'm just going to finish off. Thanks, Alan. Just going to finish off with this little video, really. Just some of the accommodation which we have here in the Cambria Mountains to suit everybody's need. Unique, iconic accommodation, just waiting for people to book, visit, and stay at. And you might be lucky to find yourself the lucky owner of a Cambria Mountains Dark Sky mug in the future as well. They are available every now and again across the Cambria Mountains. So
thanks for that, Dag.
Dag, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that, Alan. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, and thanks to the Argo Navis conference and Menter for being part of this wonderful day, wonderful 2 days actually. And we just hope that we can continue to work together.
Definitely, but thanks very much for that, Dad. We got a few questions here actually.
You've got a few questions, have you?
Yeah, Mike is asking, you seem to have been very lucky with clear nights. Is it always like that in Wales? Well, unfortunately, Mike, if you can hear my sound here, it's absolutely belting down at the moment. The rain is bouncing. The rain is bouncing a good 18 inches off the floor. So we do. I'm going to answer this a little bit for David, because we do get quite a few good nights in Wales over the year, but we green for a reason, and we do get quite a few rainy, wet nights. But as David has said there, we've got such a welcome in the hillsides that it doesn't really matter. At least every other night there's going to be a clear night, and you can get out and enjoy the night sky. Now we got another one from Anthony here saying, thank you, David. Your enthusiasm is infectious. Well, I can attest to that. He said he'll be certainly coming over in the next few months. And if you were to choose one site only for night skies and landscapes, which one would it be and why?
In all honesty, Alan, and who asked the question? Mike, was it?
This is Anthony.
Anthony, hi, Anthony. There's a place just north or just east of Aberystwyth, which is a coastal town. There's a community called Pont Erwyd, and near Pont Erwyd, there is the highest peak in the Cambria Mountains called Pumlimon Fawr. And it's a pick and mix kind of locations. It's got everything in one box, and that's my favorite place to go at the moment. Is the shores of Himbrian Reservoir. You've got peaks and mountains. You've got a dam wall there as well, and you've got the highest peak. So the Himbrian area is one of my favorites, as well as the Coed y Bont location, where there's trees and interest in the foreground. And of course, when there was a pub there, the Star Inn pub car park up by Dafydd, Stay Little. As I understand it now, the Star Inn is no longer a pub, or not currently a pub, as it were.
Well, Dav, I've got to be honest, one of the best views I had of a very unique phenomena called this noctilucent cloud, which occurs in June and July generally, and that's the Lever Gorge.
Yeah.
Or as I was told,
there. I was
told the Day Life Gorge.
No, it's the Lever.
I know.
And as you know, Alan, I was there.
I know you were. You were trying to climb down the mountain, which I wasn't coming to recover you. But yeah, it is a special place, the Cambrian Mountains. But to be honest with you, so is the whole of Wales. You've got Anglesey, you've got the Brecon Beacons, you've got Snowdonia and Pembrokeshire. They're all absolutely stunning locations to visit. So thank you, David, for your time. And we haven't got any more questions here at the moment, and actually we're running out of time ourselves. So I'd like to thank you once again, and see you soon in the Cambrian Mountains.
Yeah, Alan.
Thanks, everyone.